And Greg, you wrote a piece, I think it might be, no, it's not your most recent article that you put up something about the Southampton game, but your most recent piece about Aston Villa was how they played, how they played on the weekend, but also the trajectory this club are on. They are going places. I want to compare to someone like Tottenham. Am I being unfair in saying that Tottenham are going like that, whereas Aston Villa are going like that? Because that's just how it feels right now, looking in from the outside.
I'd say yes and no, Adam. I mean, there's anybody who knows football will know that Aston Villa are going up and Tottenham are on the way down. But how I would qualify it is it's much easier for Aston Villa to be on this journey from where they started. So they were a struggling championship club that was taken over by Nassif Sawiris and Wes Edens. Dean Smith was appointed in 2018. They won promotion. They stayed up in the second season. They finished in mid-table last season. And anybody who's watched them this season will probably agree with me that they look like a top half team this season. So they're on course for another season of progression. What I would say with Tottenham is everything they seem to be doing at the moment is very short term. I think they're chasing that high and that success from the Champions League final. We've seen them drop down, haven't we, from the Champions League final? But the difference between the two teams is that it's so hard to stay competing for titles. Whereas for Villa, I think what they will find now is they're now trying to progress from a mid-table club into a top 6 or 7 club. That's going to be really, really hard for them. And then even if they do that, they've got to then go on again to try and get to Tottenham, to try and get to where Tottenham were before. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's difficult. It's really, really hard to stay right up there when you're at the top, as Tottenham are finding. And just going back to what I said, it just feels like everything is short term for them. They got rid of Pochettino because they were trying to chase that high again of getting to the Champions League final. They appointed Mourinho, but then sacked him a week before the FA Cup final when he was brought in to win a trophy for them. Again, short-term thinking because they thought a quick reaction would effectively win them the cup, but they didn't think of the long-term project that they initially planned for. And now they've got a manager in there who just doesn't, for me, look like a Tottenham manager. You know, it feels like he's trying to appease the fans in a way that he's playing, but he's not sticking to his own style that works so well at Wolves. It's just a club in a bit of a mess at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even need to talk about Harry Kane and his performances so far for Spurs. But I just look at and compare them to Villa, Kiva, and even to Liverpool, the investment in the side. Liverpool have been very smart of how they've done their business. They've reinvested the money from, say, Coutinho being sold, Van Dijk and Alisson. They are very, very smart acquisitions. But when you look at the net spend, say, over the past 10 years, Spurs compared to the ever so-called Big Six, although now I believe it's more of a Big Four as opposed to Big Six, they pale in comparison to how much City have spent. Okay, all teams kind of pale in comparison to how much both Manchester clubs have spent in terms of net spending. Liverpool has spent more, Arsenal has spent more, Chelsea have, of course, spent more. And they're Tottenham just trying to hang on the coattails, trying to chase that high of the Champions League final, which they reached. But this is a side that went, a whole summer one time without even signing a single player, without refreshing the squad. Seems to be a deep-seated, long-term problem at Spurs. It's nothing to do with suddenly Nuno's come in and the problems start. I just feel that maybe it's been going on for a while and it's been building up.
Yeah, I do think that's interesting to look at. You know, Liverpool fans this summer most of them were frustrated that they hadn't brought in a Gini Wijnaldum replacement, or, you know, maybe brought another attacker in as well, another forward player. But again, they brought in Ibrahima Konate at the very start of the window. You know, that deal's wrapped up and done. You know, Liverpool will spend money. It just sometimes feel like, you know, they're preparing for something bigger come next summer, perhaps. You know, fans will be hoping that. Tottenham, sometimes the direction of the club, you do wonder. And, you know, keeping Harry Kane, sometimes you think, would they have not have been better to actually let him go, let him move on to Manchester City, take the money and run, and, you know, put that into the side, as Liverpool, as you mentioned, did when players like Suarez and like Coutinho left. You know, you have to sort of reinvest that money and build a new team. You know, obviously they've got a new manager there under Nuno, and, you know, maybe just give him the license to go and do something fresh and new, and you know, be honest with yourselves and know that, you know, we are rebuilding something, because, you know, they started the season, you know, with a victory over Manchester City. I think that got everyone thinking, okay, maybe, you know, Spurs might go and do something this season, like shock us, and then they got followed that up with, I think, 2 more 1-0 victories, and then it's all sort of come crashing down around them a little bit, you know, to lose in the way they did against Palace and Chelsea, and obviously now the bitter rivals Arsenal. You know, the fans will be really in a bad place at the minute.